So I'm going to make a presentation about Stake Capital, Stake DAO. Who knows about Stake Capital? Wow, awesome. Stake DAO, awesome. And Arbitrage DAO, Flash Boys, all those guys. So if I got a bit of time, I might do, was planning yesterday for the workshop, but a live flash loan. I got 2 or 3 different flash loan opportunities that we can do. But first I will present, so I think we got half an hour. Please stop me if you have any questions. The evolution of Stake Capital into Stake DAO and all the different verticals that we've been working on as a company. So we've been doing staking as a service, liquidity provider, market maker, and arbitrage. And so my name is Julien Bouteloup. You can follow me, or just text me on Twitter. And it's also the same, it's also my Telegram. So it's my name reversed, so B Neluge, Julien B. You see, it's kind of very smart. So basically the evolution of the space, how we end up doing staking as a service 1.5 years ago. So we start as a staking provider, doing staking as a service. And people were like, hey, Julien, or people from the team, you've been in the space for a very long time. You guys get involved in staking as a service. But staking as a service is not really rocket science. So we don't really understand what you're doing. Well, we explain why we actually jumped 1.5 years ago into staking as a service. But basically the space, which is DeFi, decentralized finance, is not something disruptive. I mean, in the sense that all the different components of the DeFi, it's already built in the traditional finance, like arbitrage, market maker, leveraging, lending, swapping. It's already there. DeFi just bring the decentralization, but all the different tools already exist in the market. That's the evolution of staking as a service. You can, so basically proof of stake, because the idea is to replace, not replace, but to migrate from proof of work, where you have miners, into proof of stake, where people validate, so you guys can become validator, and then you receive delegation to increase your voting power, basically to get more, to capture more yield in a network. So you got staking, and as you mentioned before, we can also like lock those assets in different DeFi projects, such as Compound, or to capture yield like Aave, DApp. So you got different system mechanism where you can just stake the underlying asset to capture the inflation rate of the network, or also stake those assets into a few different projects, such as also like MakerDAO and DSR to capture the yield. So this is the growing space. Each of those protocols, each of the different projects, if they actually aim to be decentralized, you need external people to trigger different aspects of those different projects. For example, like liquidation on Centrifuge, or you do like on Kyber. So we call them like keepers. So I would call it like Stake Capital. The original idea was to be a decentralized hedge fund, to be a decentralized like keepers network, where we get involved in all those different networks. For example, like also like market makers on Maker, like all of a few different things like that. So not just, so this is the evolution, this is like the space. So what we've been doing since 2018, we basically focus on staking as a service, because staking as a service was a good step to capture liquidity in the market, where you can capture a lot of liquidity. So we run staking as a service with big partners, for example, AWS. We run like in military grade infrastructure, underground, hardware security module, running different validators across different networks. So not ETH2.0 because it's not live yet, maybe soon. But that's basically what we've been doing. Like we've been acquiring, depends on the market cap, but 30 million asset under management, distributed $4 million US into the market. And this is all the different networks that we've been supporting. And then future networks with different applications. So this is like really focused on the staking as a service. This was something that we started 2018. We made acquisition of a Baker on Tezos. We've been doing on Cosmos, Polkadot, and all the different things. But the problem is, all those different big centralized exchanges and also projects where their main business, their core business is not to charge a fee, because when we run validation, we basically charge a little fee. We can charge like 1% on LivePeer, we can charge 10% on Tezos, but all those big exchanges, such as Binance, Kraken, or like all those big guys, they're now providing, they will also move into staking as a service for free, because their main business model is to do trading. So the idea was like, okay, so now we're making money, we've been making quite a lot of money, I mean, we're making money for the past year and a half and doing partnership and also doing validation. How we can actually compete with those guys? We don't want to compete with like staking as a service provider. This is not our main business model. But how can we compete against the big guys? So then we decided to create a DAO where all the fees that we generate, that were being generated across all the different services that we run, we now send them into a dividend pool. So basically, who's got staking, proof of stake assets? So all of you. Are you guys staking in Stake Capital? Yeah, okay. Not all of you. We can have a chat after the... but basically what we do is like, you guys, if you're staking in a service provider, you are paying a little fee for that service to run. What we do, we give you back that money through a cash mechanism. So we give you like a DAI, a stable coin, or it can be also a synthetic USD. So we give back that money. So if you stake with us, if you stake in Stake Capital and Stake DAO, then we give you back the cash. We give you back the fees that we took it from you. So it's actually a good way to also exit your position as the underlying asset that generate yield. You can actually like hedge your position as well. So it's very simple. We have proof of stake validation, liquidity, provision, and arbitrage, and then we send that to a cashback pool, and those dividends they send back to the people that invest. So basically, what we do is actually a decentralized hedge fund. By getting yourself involved in the DAO, you become a shareholder of the DAO, and you get all the benefits. You get the fees back, you get cash back, you get dividend, equity in a hedge fund, in a DAO. That's a little bit more complex, but we run like 3 different services across different networks, and then we send back into a cashback pool. And anyone as people that stake, it can be like staking as a service, or you can be involved in market maker, liquidity provider, and also invest in arbitrage. We'll basically give you all the dividend. We got like I see William here has been working very hard on the DAO. It's actually live, so you can go. I can send you to the group if you join. But basically, we have like all the different components in the DAO where you can. So I can actually show you. It's built on Aragon. If you, that's the one. Yeah. So we have everything. So if you participate and delegate, for now it's like on Vinkaby, but hopefully before the end of the week will be live on mainnet. But basically, if you stake on Tezos, Cosmos, or whatsoever, you join the DAO, so it will be like DAO.stake.capital, and then we'll basically send you every cycle the dividend that we make as a DAO. Well, it's loading because maybe I don't have internet. Well, I can send you the link. But, any questions so far? Okay. And we also build liquid pools. So the idea behind liquid pool, liquid assets, we actually defined the liquid asset, we built it like 6-9 months ago. And one of the liquid assets that you can think of in the space is AVE, the A token. It's a one-to-one peg asset. So for example, yourself, if you stake, doesn't anyone like staking into Tezos? Isn't it? Yeah, Tezos, Cosmos. Some of you. So basically, when you stake the asset, or for example, ETH 2.0, when you be staking this asset, you'll be locked into a minimum period of time. And when you lock, imagine the market goes up in value. You might decide to sell your asset because it's you want to sell because the market is pumping. The thing is, like, you cannot sell until you need to withdraw, and then you have the locking period. For example, on Tezos, it's like 21 seconds. So what we do, instead of you guys directly staking into those different networks, you stake into a pool. So it can be like ETH 2.0 pool. And then we issue a liquid asset that represents your underlying asset being staked into the protocol. And so what it does is like you can actually trade your ETH, your liquid ETH in the market, and you can also capture the yield. Then I will explain all the different pools. But basically, we're basically building pools across all the different mechanisms. And so Stake DAO has got now 4 different verticals. The first one was staking as a service. The second one is liquidity provider. So we've been doing like a big liquidity provider on Uniswap, for example, on Synthetics. So if you delegate token into Stake DAO, we also you participate in those 4 different verticals. So staking as a service, liquidity provider, market maker, and now recently arbitrage. We've been doing arbitrage for quite a few years now, but it got mainstream because of flash loan that we did. We did the first flash loan with Aave. So arbitrage, and then the best information about arbitrage or like flash boys is actually this white paper that you guys can have access. It's mostly written by Philippe Dine, and he explained all the different mechanisms that you can do in arbitrage. Does any you guys aware what is arbitrage in not really? So arbitrage is like in traditional finance is like you buy an asset and you find someone on the market that you can sell it to for a higher price. That's the basic mechanism of arbitrage. In blockchain, especially with decentralized exchange and all those different a pool of liquidity, what you can do, you can actually do the same with through a few different paths. For example, on OneEdge or Paraswap, you can think of those guys are actually doing arbitrage because they find you the best price on the market for swapping your asset. Flash loan is a mechanism for having access to instant liquidity, without paying. I mean, with Aave, that was a percentage of fee. But basically, what you do, you basically borrow the liquidity from a pool. Think about the pool as just a smart contract. I mean, just as a pool, and then you get the liquidity. You do your arbitrage, and then you reimburse the liquidity as long as you actually do everything in one block. Otherwise, all the transactions are reverted if you cannot reimburse that liquidity, that flash loan. So we did the first one. It was pretty got pretty crazy. Everyone was talking about it, and everything is online, so you can see all the transactions, and you can see how we actually did the flash loan. So this is actually a vertical of Stake Capital, of Stake DAO. So yeah, this arbitrage, we basically bought DAI, and then we we basically made an arbitrage between Psi and DAI, because there was an opportunity for people to swap a different price. And then we used the Aave lending pool for borrowing the liquidity, meaning that with flash loan, you don't need to have money. You can basically get access to $10 million or $15 million, depends on the size of the pool, and you can do whatever you want with that money as long as you give back the money back to the pool and you capture your arbitrage opportunity. Any questions on arbitrage? Okay, I will also do a workshop this weekend. Arbitrage was also built on Moloch DAO, so you can actually buy shares into the DAO to capture the fees that we make with arbitrage. But this will change into version 2 of Moloch. In arbitrage, you can do different things that might. For example, imagine who's got a CDP here. So a CDP is, so you got ETH, and imagine you're long on ETH. You don't want to sell your ETH because you believe that ETH will go up in value, but you still want to use those ETH for investing in DeFi, or you need money to pay for the rent. So what you do is you got a maker, you open a CDP. So you get your ETH into the CDP, and then you over collateralize. So for example, 150%. So you get for $150,000, then you get money in DAI, and then you can use it, so you can invest those DAI. But when you have a CDP open, you might not have the DAI to reimburse your CDP, so you want to close your CDP. So what you need to do is buy DAI on the market, because you have your CDP and you need to reimburse your CDP, and then basically to unlock the ETH. So what you can do with flash loan is, this is something also we're building, is we get you have your CDP. Imagine it's like 150,000 US dollars to destroy your CDP. So what you do, you go to the flash loan, you capture the liquidity, you reimburse your CDP, you get the ETH, you sell the ETH on the market, and then you reimburse the flash loan, meaning that you didn't have to have any liquidity. So you can actually now, right now, assuming that ETH is value more than when you open the CDP, obviously, but you can. Do you guys get it? Does it make sense? Yeah. Question.
You mean a collateral swap?
Yeah. Oh no, this is not a collateral swap. It's actually like closing the CDP. Yeah, you can. Collateral swap is something else. Yeah, you can actually do collateral swap between different projects. But this is actually closing a CDP. Imagine, maybe it's too personal, but you guys probably have CDP and you cannot close it because you don't have the money. No? Maybe some of you. But you could actually use this mechanism to close your CDP and get the ETH, sell the ETH back to the market, reimburse the flash loan, and then get your ETH. Do you get it? Yeah, it's pretty cool, I think. Oh yeah, breaking news. So what we been working on over the past few months is to be the first one of the biggest one. I know that Consensus is also working on that, but to basically support ETH 2.0, but through a pool mechanism. So we successfully built a pool, a mechanism for validators to bootstrap 2,048 validators of 32 ETH, each of them, into Ethereum network. And now we are working on bootstrapping 100,000 validators on less than 25 seconds with like all the HSM, hardware security modules, and all the etc. And so we could actually accept 3.2 million ETH. I mean, at the current market cap, is something like $1 billion US. And we've been working on the UX for that. I can actually show you a video that we work with those guys from Deep Work and Ed, you can find on Twitter. It's been working like a very, very amazing slides. And this will be something like that. I can show you. So everything about like a Bitcoin chain, so like a mechanism, a process for you to easily onboard and be able to stake your ETH. And then what we're building is like a pool. So instead of directly stake into the validator, you can stake into the pool, and then we issue this liquid asset, this liquid ETH, that you can use for other DeFi products in a space. Cool. I think that's it. It's a lot. But do you guys have any questions? Yeah.
For the ETH 2.0 pool, are you provisioning the hardware as well? Or it's just the liquidity pool for...
Oh, if we're providing the hardware?
Well, if you're provisioning, if you, like, I mean...
We've been like, everything that we've been doing in Stake DAO, everything is, you can join us on Telegram and ask us questions. Everything is trustless. Yeah. So we're also working on the mechanism where you can have a percentage of Stake DAO that can do like custody as a service, but it's your own. It's trustless, meaning that we don't hold your fund. You stake them. You use your ledger, or you use.
But am I actually validating?
No, you. It depends. The one that we have on Prism, this one, is actually. This one is actually you stake into the validator, so you participate in validating. The one we actually are very into building is the pool. So you stake into a pool that the pool will delegate and fill those 32 little pools for you to capture the yield. But also for you to have the interest of the staking derivative is like you can actually stake, capture the yield, but also still use your fund for participating in DeFi. Any questions? No questions? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Just for your information, the next talk is in 25 minutes. Yeah.
Should I send slides somewhere?
Yeah, come with me. You can use your right, maybe.
Can we test if I could just use mine?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't plugged in anything in this computer, but I think I can figure it out. Just one.
maybe here the like
Yeah.
presentation view.
Presenter view.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh, it's
Yep. Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't know why this isn't. I'll try it again, but if
Okay.
I'll figure something out.
Oh.
Thank you.